Gaurav, do you concur? Because I think India is already taking that stand to build that deterrence, and we can see that happening because the kind of international pressure India is trying to build to try and economically isolate Pakistan, and of course, the military and the diplomatic strikes that it's already contemplated.
So far, the biggest action India has taken, and in the way perhaps some of us would look at it, only Prime Minister Narendra Modi could have done it, is Indus Waters Treaty, holding it in abeyance. Imagine even when 1971 was happening, you didn't hold it in abeyance. You didn't do it in 65. You didn't do it in Kargil. You didn't do it any other time. You've done it now. That's a huge signal. That is actually pressing Pakistan's jugular vein. You've pressed it, and now Pakistan knows. You know, they may admit it, they may not admit it. There are consequences for Pakistan in the short term. There are major consequences for Pakistan in the medium term. And it is a disaster if they continue in the long term. They're anyway a water-starved country. And now you're starving it, even further. And not using water as a weapon. You're simply saying, we'll give you water, just stop shedding our blood. If he still wants to shed your blood, he can't expect your water.
Sandeep, would you reckon with the, what Gaurav said? Because Pakistan did admit it, because Pakistan called the abeyance of the Indus Water Treaty as an act of war. And how will a rogue state now react, especially after India answers back militarily?
Yeah, well, Preeti, I want to first go back to what General Rakesh Sharma mentioned, the fact that the 1,000-year war rhetoric that Pakistan has been talking about, I don't know about 1,000 years, that's in the realm of fantasy, but we definitely have been facing a war from Pakistan for almost 80 years. You're looking at one of the world's longest periods of war, starting from 1947, where the Pakistan army does not reconcile to this reality of Kashmir, and they've been fighting wars using covert means. They used tribal raiders in 1947-48, funded and backed by the Pakistan military. The Pakistan army enters the picture. 65, a similar modus operandi of Gibraltar and Grand Slam. 71, they instigated war against India and they lost Bangladesh. 99, they again used the 1965 and 47 stratagem to infiltrate Northern Light Infantry into Kargil. At every point, they've been instigating conflict since 1947. So this is clearly you're faced with a rogue army. And today, with General Asim Munir taking over, who sees himself as some kind of successor to General Zia with the kind of obnoxious statements that he's making, we are truly faced with a very, very serious challenge.
Because how Pakistan is now going to react whenever India strikes is going to be very unpredictable.
Absolutely.
So, Pakistan may be unpredictable. We have to be even more unpredictable. Can I tell you something about Pakistan Army? It is the difference between Hafiz Saeed and Asim Munir is the fact that Asim Munir wears a uniform. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. The difference between Hafiz Saeed and, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is that Bilawal Bhutto Zardari comes from a political family, but they speak exactly the same language. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari in a very different manner, but he's saying exactly the same thing, that if water does not flow, blood will flow. That's Hafiz Saeed's language, but they speak the same language.
The facade of civility was long shorn, because it is a rogue state.
Look at the way the commentators are saying that Indian women, Indian actresses are male ghanimat for them. So that is Pakistani civil society. They want to take Indian women as sex slaves after that war with India. So that is that radical Islamist mindset that Indians need to understand. It's a rogue radical Islamist terror state.